What's up, guys? Welcome to The Way We Roam, and today we are going to talk about something really important when it comes to riding the Pan America off-road, and that's making a few small adjustments that will make a big difference in how you can control this bike. So let's first start with the brake pedal right here. As far as the brake goes, there's a couple things that you want to keep in mind. When you're riding on a road bike, it's fine to have it a little bit lower because your foot as you're sitting is actually pointed down more. And for all of you guys who have the older models, there is a new upgrade for this brake pedal. But the older way it worked was that you'd flip this thing around and you get a little bit more distance on each side of this. So this side is lower, so my foot's more angled down. And this side is more meant for off-road mode. It's higher now, there's more of a length on this side. So what that does is it makes my foot more level with the brake. And when you're riding off-road, you want this to be more level with your foot. You're gonna be standing, so you want it more level. You don't wanna be reaching down really far to try to hit the brake. You need to be able to close that gap a little bit. And in order to do that, what you're gonna do is actually come over here and you'll see there's a cotter key back here. You'll pull that out and then you're gonna pull this pin out and you're gonna push this back. And as you push that back, in here is a couple little nuts. You're gonna loosen up the nut up on the top, and then you can twist this bottom piece down or up, or depending counterclockwise, clockwise, in order to either push it further down or push it further up. In this case, I want to be able to push it further down so that this is further up on this side. So I'm going to give it a couple turns, and then I'm going to lock off this top nut, and I'm going to put the pin back in and the cotter key, and we're good to go. And that should give you enough of a distance to be able to be doing your off-road stuff. All right, let's talk about the shifter on the other side. All right, when it comes to the shifter, again, we're kind of looking for the same type of thing, whereas when we're standing, we want to be able to easily get under here to shift up and shift down, right? So sometimes you might have to make an adjustment. When it comes to the shifter, it's a little bit of a tricky thing because what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to loosen this up right here, and then you're gonna have to pull this out and kind of angle it a little bit more. And as you do that, the downside to that is that if you go too far, so if I start moving this piece too far forward and this too high, you risk that this actually will flip up and around and backwards. So you really don't have a lot of wiggle room when it comes to this, but you do have the ability to make some adjustments on making this a little bit lower and a little bit higher. And again, keep in mind, when you're going off-road, you're standing, so you're gonna wanna be able to fish your boot under here. You don't want it too high because when you're riding when you're sitting on the road, you wanna still be able to make those adjustments too. So you gotta find that nice middle ground. I'm pretty happy with where this one's at right now. Okay, the last thing that you're gonna wanna adjust, well actually there's a couple things here that you're gonna wanna adjust, but that's your handlebars and your controls. And what you're looking for here is with the handlebars, when I'm riding off-road and I'm in the right position here, I kind of want the handlebars to be in line with my arms. So this is my position that I'll be riding in when I'm going off-road and really taking more technical stuff. So you want to have this where you can rotate the handlebars either back or forward depending on what it's set like right now. And in order to do that, you would just loosen up these 4 bolts here just enough to be able to rotate it up. Be careful not to go too far back side to side. You want to try to keep it lined up. And the other big thing that's really important with this is that you're going to want to use something. This is a SPV Tools digital torque. So you're going to want to make sure that you torque these back to specs. I have the A1 risers. My specs are different than the Harley ones. So just look that up depending on whatever your riser settings are. The last thing that you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna adjust your levers here and your controls. So mine, as you can see, as I'm riding standing up, they're angled down a little bit, but I also have them set in a position where that when I'm sitting and riding on the pavement, I'm still comfortable. In order to be able to make those adjustments on the Pan America, you're gonna have to loosen up these 2 bolts right here. So there are 2 bolts here. You'll loosen those up and you'll easily be able to rotate this whole thing up and down. And then you'll just tighten it back down and you're good to go. So that's how we set up the Pan America for off-road use and get it kind of dialed in for maximum performance.